here. Tonight, I'm so excited. We're going to be going over how to retain 90+% of what you read, what you watch. I know a lot of you tuning in tonight have been watching lectures for a minute. You've been watching lectures, trying to get the information, but when you get a test 2 weeks from now, they ask you a question about it, and it seems like you can't remember it, or at least can't apply it. If that sounds like you, go down in the comment box and give me a me. All right, appreciate you for being here, Jess. I got you, Chase. What's up? What's up, Cassie? All right, glad to have y'all. So, you know, what I was saying before I was rudely interrupted by Facebook was, listen, for a lot of us, if we can just retain the information and apply it on the NPTE, we can close this freaking chapter. How many of you have struggled with retention? Maybe not in PT school, maybe it wasn't there, but it is definitely with this whole NPTE because there's so much information. Well, let me let you into something, all right? I've been struggling with standardized tests for decades, all right? 20 plus years with these standardized exams. And there was some problems I didn't even realize were causing me to struggle with retaining the information. It got so bad that in PT school, what ended up happening was it's like I would spend hours more than all my classmates studying the material. I would get lower grades on the tests, go into office hours with my professors. Elbaum was one of them, Lisa Roberts, what's up? I would go into the office hours and it's like, hey, you know the information, why aren't you applying it to the actual question? And I was like, well, I don't, it's like difficult for me in the moment, I guess, I don't know. How many of you have struggled with that? I've been struggling with that my entire life, right? Especially with standardized exams because there's so much information. It took me 14 months. I did a deep dive into why this was happening. 14 months. I found out there was 3 major problems. I fixed it, and with the grace of God, I was able to pass the NPTE Smash It. And over the past decade, I've been helping people with these 3 problems we're going to go over tonight. And they have been getting really great score improvements, like 100-point score improvements, and closing this PT school chapter. Now, let me tell you, if you are resonating with this right now and you're like, yes, I have retention-based issues, can you go down in the comment box and say me? All right. And if you're new, let me know where you're tuning in from as well, like what state you're in. I always like to see that. I'm over here in Florida. But yeah, go down in the comment box and let me know, is this sounding like you? Because here's the deal. The one thing that I hear all the time is that people say, oh my gosh, it was so worth it when I passed. The time, the investment, everything. I'm done. You know, they close the PT school chapter and it's like your whole life opens up. Now you can move out of mom and dad's house. You can go to Longhorn, Ruth Chris, whatever you want and spend your PT paycheck because you're making the money. How many of y'all are ready to close this chapter? The reason why I'm bringing this up is for a lot of you, if we solve this retention problem, we solve PT school. Like we can close this chapter. Is anybody ready for that tonight? All right, so if you're resonating with the story that I just gave you, my past history with retention, if you're resonating with that, put the word yes down in the comment box. All right, if you know that you're like, yes, when it comes down to these practice questions or the NPTE, I'm not able to recall the information fast enough. It's like I know I've seen that, but I can't remember that specific thing. Then I want you to put yes down in the comment box. And if you're ready to learn these 3 problems that are likely keeping you from retaining it and some tips on how to fix it, just give me a ready down there in the comment box and let's get tonight started. I'm ready. How to retain 90+% of what you read, what you watch. If you're not a reader, that's okay. How to get it from the lectures. We'll talk about that tonight too. All right, cool. While y'all are putting those down, for those of you unfamiliar with me, my name is Dr. Kyle Rice. My students call me Coach K. I'm the founder of the PT Hustle, where we help PT students and new grads who struggle with standardized tests to dominate the NPTE. Our specialty is people who fail the exam, how to help them with their comeback story so that they can close this PT school chapter and get their dream job, all right? So let's go ahead and jump into it first. I'm gonna give you your first lesson if you got your notes pulled out. I'll pull up my whiteboard. By the way, before we get started, tonight is brought to you by Practice Question Club Premium. It's a program that I developed for my people who need test strategy. So this past weekend, we had a boot camp, which was freaking phenomenal. If you attended, go down in the comment box. Let your boy know if you enjoyed that. All right. There's a free trial for the Practice Question Club, NPTEclub.com. Check it out, NPTEclub.com. All right. Let's go ahead, get into work. Start with your first lesson tonight. Here it is. There's this thing called a pass symbol, right? Y'all know that. A lot of us are like, yes, I want that pass symbol. Okay, cool. All right. So hold on. Let me make sure that this thing is actually going to pull up. Now, there's certain things that I want. There's one particular thing that I want. Is this like SUV? I don't got enough money for it, but it's an SUV. It's an Escalade, right? And it's a lyric. What's the car that you want? Like when you're making your PT money and you got extra cash, and let's just say you had extra money to buy it, what car would you buy? Go down in the comment box and let me know. All right. Mine is this Escalade lyric. The thing is really cool. I mean, if I had just extra money to blow, I'd get that. Okay, here's the thing. In order for me to buy that car, though, what I have to do, I have to come out of my pocket and pay the money. I mean, I could go rob somebody, but that's not within my ethical wheelhouse, so I'm not going to do that. I have to pay the money. Make sense? Okay, cool. So there's a currency that's required to get that car. And so the ones that y'all are putting down, Elena says a Mustang. We got a G-Wagon. Chase, let's go. Ooh, boy. Okay. Cadillac Escalade. Yeah. Okay, so check this out real quick. There's a currency that's required for you to get those vehicles, right? What is it? US dollars, right? Or rubies or pesos or whatever. Okay, cool. Makes sense. What does that have to do with the NPTE and the pass symbol? So check this out. There's a currency that's required to get the pass symbol. Did you know? So can you pay to get the pass symbol, yes or no? Can you pay for it? No, you can't, right? Okay, well, here's the thing that I learned in PT school. Like I said, I was doing this for 14 months trying to figure out what the problem is, why I was not retaining. And it was because PT school, and school in general, has taught you that the currency for an A+ is this right here. Time. That's what it's taught you. That the harder you work, the longer you work, the more time you spend studying, the more likely it is to get an A+. Go down in the comment box and give me a yes if that's how you've been taught. Right? So by nature, you automatically have attributed that, well, if I want to pass the NPTE, the currency for that is time. This was the biggest mistake that I was personally making. I believe this lie. And how do I know it's a lie? Because I have people right now that are listening to me that have been on this NPTE journey, have been studying for this thing for the past 6 months. Some people for the past year. Go down the comment box and give me a mm-hmm. Some people have been here for 18 months, 2 years, trying to pass this NPTE. Not because they're not intelligent. It's because they've bought into the lie that the more time that I spend, the more likely it is that I will get a pass symbol. Unfortunately, you've been duped. And how do we know it's a lie? Because there's people that have been spending 2 years trying to pass this. Don't you think that's enough time by now? It must not be time dependent. You can't give your time and get the pass symbol. That's not how that works. So for those of us who are going through the motions and spending more time, you're likely getting yourself further away from passing it, not closer to passing it. Is anybody picking up what I'm putting down right now? So I think it's really important for you to understand, well, hold on a minute. If money can't buy me a pass symbol, If time can't buy me a pass symbol, then what can? These two right here. Can I get you to go down the comment box? All right, if you're picking up what I'm putting down, if you're paying attention right now, I need you to put that down there in the comment box. Retention plus application equals pass. Let's get some retention right now. This is what's actually required. So the lower your retention, the lower your application skill. They kind of go hand in hand. If your retention's low, your application's low. And if your application's low, the chances of you getting a pass symbol is not very likely. So what do you and I need to do in order to make sure that you pass? We need to make sure that your retention and application skill is through the freaking roof. Ashley. Through the freaking roof. Cool? Is that part making sense? I think that's so important because a lot of us fall into the trap of, oh, I'm just going to study today and thinking that that's going to do something for you 70 days from now. That's going to help me. No. That's not how that works. Just don't even waste your time. That's not how this works. Cool. So tonight, what I want to do is I want to introduce you to the 3 problems I personally found that, first of all, was keeping me from retaining the information. Because soon as you know that equation now it's like, okay, cool. Now what do I do? Like, how do I retain more information? Well, you got to understand these 3 problems. And again, write this down there in that comment box. It'll help you to retain it. So number 1, problem, superficial learning. And I'm going to go through the problems right now. I'll just list them out for you. Number 2, and I know you've probably heard this before, fire hydrant method. All right, you with me? All right. And then last part of it, energy equals retention. And the problem there is decrease energy equals decrease retention. These are the 3 problems that I found over that 14 months that were causing me to have retention problems. I solved through these. Check this out. I solved through these. And the most amazing thing happened. You can ask my wife this. When I was leading up to the NPTE, I was about 2 months out from it. I was telling her, listen, I feel like I'm great. I'm good with the content. I feel like I know more than enough to destroy the NPTE at this point. Now, my practice exams weren't necessarily showing it because I was having mindset, spiritual problems, and test-taking issues. But from a content side, I was good. I was good. I was smashing it. And it was because I smashed these 3 problems right here. So if you're ready for me tonight to, first of all, explain these, but then give you some tips on how to fix it, can I get you to go down the comment box and put ready? I don't want to leave anybody behind. I also got to make sure I'm still broadcasting. You know how Facebook likes to mess me up. All right, we're doing good. We're doing good. Y'all ready? Okay. So I want to go into our first problem, and I promise I'll make these things quick, all right? So superficial. Superficial learning is the first problem. How many of y'all feel like you do superficial learning? Maybe you're in a review course right now that specializes in memorization and giving you kind of like a superficial understanding of the information, all right? There's a few review courses that are out there, not throwing shade because they are helpful, but there are quite a few review courses out there where their goal is to give you kind of like the memorization of the stuff, right? And they don't go super deep into it. And here's the problem. When you get to the NPTE and they give you this information, these questions, they ask you for this one piece of deep information. You're like, oh, I didn't go to that level. Can I get a down in the comment box if that's happened to you? If you haven't taken the NPTE before, maybe it's been on a practice exam. You know what I'm talking about. So let me give a topic that a lot of students that I work with, they have problems with: prosthetics, right? And what'll happen is that they get a superficial understanding of that. Maybe they're using their review books or something like that. And this topic comes up: cushioned heel. Go down the comment box and let me know, have you seen that topic come up before? If not, I want you to go ahead and make sure you see that. That's important. All right. Cushioned heel. So you see that. They get it wrong on a practice exam, let's say. And the first thing that they do is they go over to the rationales. Does it sound like you? You get it wrong, you're like, oh, okay, let me go read the rationale. The problem is that the rationale is known as superficial learning. Like, it's only going to give you enough to scrape the surface of understanding a little bit about what this is and how it applies directly to that individual question and the way it's worded, but not the full context of that concept. It's not there to teach it to you like a professor. Is this making sense? This is known as superficial what? Learning. No matter. When we think about it, it makes sense now. When they ask you another question about this on the NPTE and they change the context, you have a problem applying the deeper understanding because you were superficial. You got taught by a rationale, not a professor. Does that make sense? And the other way is a review book. A lot of people will be like, all right, let me go back to the review book. I don't know what the heck a cushioned heel is. Let me go back to the review book and study it. The review book is kind of like a preview to a movie. Y'all seen previews, right? Y'all seen previews on the big screen, right? And if you can imagine, one of my favorite movies I like to watch, kind of lost my train of thought there. Oh, what's that movie with Johnny Depp? Oh my gosh, the name leaves me right now. And it's an older movie, and it's Johnny Depp, and they have like, they're criminals. Oh man, somebody help me out with that movie. I just lost my train of thought. But anyway, that's besides the point. So when you watch the preview of that movie, you see that they're running into a specific building, right? And they're shooting and all of that stuff. And you get an idea that, okay, they're running into the building and shooting. You're watching the trailer. That makes sense. But here's the problem. If you get tested on that movie by the NPTE, they ask you, why were they running into the building? And you're like, I don't know, because I didn't get that from the preview. Is this making sense? Right? So if you're watching the preview and the test is testing you on the movie, no wonder you feel like you don't have enough depth or understanding. Does this make sense? Is this making sense to anybody? So again, review books are superficial learning, and they're great if you already have a decent understanding of the topic and you're just filling in the gaps. Those are great. But if you're like, oh, cushioned heel, I never really learned that. Oh, review books, rationales, they're going to leave you high and dry when it comes down to the NPTE. Go down in the comment box and give me an MS if this is making sense. Chase is my man. It's Public Enemies. I can't believe my freaking brain just had a huge fart just now. It was Public Enemies. Yes. That's it. Johnny Depp. It's one of my favorite movies right there. It's cool. All right. Y'all got the point. So here it is. Have any of you been resorting to rationales or review books as one of your primary sources for learning the information? If you have, I'm telling you right now, you're going to fall into problem number one, called superficial learning. And then what happens is you get to the NPTE and they're going to ask you something a bit more in depth that you need understanding, and you're going to feel high and dry, like you can't recall that information. If I'm speaking truth right now, for people who have seen the NPTE before, can you go down the comment box and put truth? Because there's some people here like, does this coach know what he's talking about? I mean, he took the NPTE a long time ago. Is he sure that this is still the case? Go down in the comment box and leave me a truth for my people that have seen the NPTE recently. Okay? Telling you, this is facts. Straight facts. All right, so that's problem number one. So what I would do definitely is make sure that you're getting that deeper understanding. So if you know of companies that do deeper understanding with the content, like they really help you to understand the physiology, the foundations, how it applies, that's gold. All right, PT textbooks are great too, but I know a lot of you don't like to be reading those big PT textbooks. I'm not even talking about the review books. I'm talking about the textbooks. All right, cool. Second problem, another big one that I had. Here it is, fire hydrant. Maybe some of you have heard of this, maybe not. So in PT school, one of the things that kept coming up all the time is like we felt like we were drinking from a fire hydrant. So much information is being thrown at you at once. You got ortho, neuro, cardio, like 10 tests in 1 week, like all this information. Kind of makes you feel like, dang, like the NPTE, right? So much information is being thrown at you. How do you possibly like absorb it all, right? So here's the thing. If you go back to last week, we were talking about how to target better. That's one way to automatically turn your fire hydrant to a garden hose. So go back, that grocery store analogy that I was using, the targeting. If you want to cut your study time down by half, even 75%, go back to that video. That's super important. Implement those principles I taught you. All right? Now, on the other side of this, just because you cut the list down, that doesn't mean you retain it now. So what I want to do is I want to help you. For those of you who feel like there's so much information and so little time, I want to help you. Draw out a pyramid on your paper. We're going to do a little bit of a workshop here. We're going to assess how good your retention is right now and what you need to do to fix it. Because I want you to be 90+%. That should be your goal. Everything that you read or watch, I want you to be at 90% retention. Meaning that if I ask you 10 questions about that topic, 9 out of 10 of them you should be able to get correct based upon your knowledge and your application skill. That's 90% retention. All right? So what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to put these numbers out to the side and we're going to explain them. Okay? And then what I want you to do is I want you to tell me where you fall the majority of the time with your retention. And then we'll go ahead and see what we need to do to fix it. All right? So go on your pyramid, write these numbers out. 75%, and this one's 90%. Okay. So this isn't my pyramid. Actually, this is what I did in my research in PT school to figure out like how do you retain more information. So what was found was that passive lectures, like when you're just watching a lecture and just writing down the notes, you get about 5% retention. When you're reading the textbook, highlighting it, and again, writing down notes, you get about 10% retention. So it's actually a little bit better than just passively sitting back and watching. All right? If you mix audio and visual together, 20% retention. If you have somebody demonstrating it to you, 30% retention. So like special tests, like if you're actually watching somebody go through it, they're demonstrating it, they're talking about it, 30% retention. Group discussion or group work, as long as it's organized, 50% retention. So that's the reason why here at the PT Hustle, we push a lot of study teams, groups, making sure that you guys have study partners, all of that. It's why? Because research shows 50% retention. Why not use that, okay? Next, practice. You actually putting it into play. Let me give you a quick example. One thing that I ask my coaching students to do when it comes down to dressings, because a lot of people have problems with that, or wheelchairs, I'm like, go to Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Menards, whatever your local grocery store is or whatnot. And how about you get a transparent film? Go get an alginate. Go get the hydrogels and put them on you so you can feel what they feel like. Run water over them. See if they're absorbent or not. See if they stick, right? So you get that practice in. Guess what? That's 75% retention. Go to a DME store and say you're a PT and use their wheelchairs to pop willies and see how they feel and stuff, right? Practice. Last but not least is teach back, which I call teach back method. Teaching is known to get 90% retention, y'all. So if you're not doing this at all, you're really hurting yourself when it comes down to the NPTE. So what I want you to do right now is I want you to tell me down there in the comment box, where do you currently fall? And just be honest. Just be honest. Are you more watching lectures and copying notes or writing notes down and reading? Are you more here? Then what I want you to do is I want you to put 10% down there in the comment box. Because that's really what you're getting. All right? If you're like, no, what I am doing is I'm doing lectures, yeah, I'm reading, yeah, but I'm also incorporating the audio-visual aspect, whether it's graphs, pictures, you know how the NPTE uses pictures and all of that stuff. I'm incorporating all of that with it. I'm like, okay, cool. We're getting up to 20%. Still not what I would want. Oh, well, I am watching videos of people demonstrating the different special tests. Pulmonary function tests, all of that, so I can get a better understanding. Okay, cool. Go down the comment box and give me 30%. If you're like, hey, I'm doing group discussions, working with groups, I'm practicing the information, like putting my hands on it, all right, and I'm incorporating the teaching aspect of it, then I want you to go down the comment box and give me a 90%. Okay? Just be honest with yourself. Today is all about radical accountability, right? Our coaching program, our entire system is all about RAM, rapid, or I should say radical accountability method, right? So right now, let's keep you accountable. Where are you at right now? Are you in a red zone? Red zone, oof, not good, but it's awesome. We still got a lot of time before the NPTE to fix it. If you're yellow zone, I'm like, all right, a little dangerous, a little danger, but we can make a difference still. All right, all right, all right. If you're in the green zone, I'm like, all right, now we should start seeing really nice improvements on your exams. And if you're not, it's likely related to test taking, mindset, spirituality, or some type of health related problem. So we can explore that. And if you're having problems in those, if you're like, hey, coach, I am in the green for sure. I am doing the thing and I'm not doing superficial learning. Well, then hit me up. Send me a text message because that means that you're having problems in test taking, health, mindset, or spirituality. And there's specific things we need to do about that. All right, my number's down there in the comment box. Problem number 3. Let's go ahead and hit this last problem. It's going to be super easy. I'm going to make this so easy for you. And I didn't realize this. All right, so it is energy. Decreased energy is decreased retention. Let me explain this. So in PT school, right, I heard about this thing called the NPTE. And all my classmates were like, I ain't studying for that. What? Right? So I was the only one studying. And I remember going to the library one weekend while we were on clinical rotations. I went to the library, and I literally spent 17 hours that day in the library studying. No BS, no like, oh, he was just looking at the wall on social media. Like, no, I was grinding it. I was like, I have to do this. I have to pass this NPTE. 17 freaking hours I clocked it. And I was actually proud of myself. That's the craziest thing. I was proud of myself. You want to know why? Because I learned in PT school, really through school total, that the more time you spend, the closer you are to pass. So I actually felt freaking proud of myself. But the problem was that night, okay, I was leaving the library, and I was like, well, let me just recap on what I learned today as I was getting in the car. And as I'm getting in the car, I'm like, my mind's blank. Just like I couldn't recall Public Enemies a few moments ago where Chase helped me out, and I couldn't remember that movie, that's how it felt when I was going home that night. Despite the fact that I spent all that time, all day long studying, it's like I couldn't even remember what I learned. Has that happened to anybody? Go to the comment box, give me a me, let me know if I'm alone or if you've experienced this. It's frustrating. It's the most discouraging feeling when you've put all that time, energy, and effort, and it translated over to no return, or at least it feels like that. Well, I learned this equation. Energy equals retention. I didn't realize at the time that the longer I spend studying, the lower my energy goes. Okay, so it's kind of on one of these graphs right here. So this is energy, and this is this time? Time, yeah. All right, so the more time I spend, the lower the energy goes. So when I was at 17 hours, what do y'all think my energy was at? Like, I'm at 17 hours of studying that day, like just grinding it. Where do y'all think my energy was? High, low, medium? Oh, it's low. Energy and retention are directly proportional to each other. So decreased energy equals decreased retention. So I'm going to have the best retention right? I'm going to have the best retention earlier on when the energy is the highest. And so I don't know, if this graph is this graph might actually be a little bit backwards, but I think you understand the point that as time increases, energy decreases, right? And so it's the exact opposite when we look at the equation this way. The more energy that I have, the greater retention I have. Are y'all picking up what I'm putting down? That's the important part tonight. So we're not rewarded on time. We're actually rewarded for this thing right here. The greater the energy, the greater the retention. The greater the retention, the greater the application. The greater the application, the closer you are to pass. So that must mean your health, your mindset, your pacing, and all of that is super important. Probably more important than the content itself. All right. Is this making sense? And Chase, I appreciate he was like, your axis is flipped. Brother, I didn't really pass algebra or geometry or any of those graph classes, so that's probably why. But long as you get the point here, you might have to consult a mathematician who's a graphing expert, because that's not my specialty. But my specialty is teaching people how to pass this NPTE. And I'm telling you right now, energy is a way to do it. Chase, you my guy, man. You are my guy. If you're picking up what I'm putting down in the comment, go down the comment box and put MS. Are you picking up what I'm putting down tonight? Okay, so let's do a quick recap. I was in your same exact situation with these standardized tests, hated them. And if you're great at standardized tests, good on you. This will definitely help you out even more. But a lot of the people that I'm speaking to have failed the NPTE before, yes? Or you've struggled with standardized tests in your life. I am just like you. I've struggled just like you. These were 3 problems that we went over tonight that were screwing, excuse my words, but they were screwing my retention. Three major problems. Number one, I wanted to know the information. I wasn't taking shortcuts, but at the same time, I wasn't taught about like really going deep or how deep to go or what the appropriate resources were. I wasn't taught that. So I was doing superficial learning and ending up on the NPTE or these standardized exams feeling like, oh, I didn't know to go that deep, or I didn't study that particular thing. All right, number two, fire hydrant. Getting kind of caught up in this, I'm trying to do everything, trying to get done with as many things as possible. Just doing passive lectures and reading and hoping that works, but that's really poor retention. I had to teach it. I had to do group work, even though I was more like a solo guy. I know, how many of y'all are solo peeps? You're like, man, I like to just do it myself. I don't really like groups as much. You know, I do a little bit, but not that much. Listen, I was messing myself up by not being in groups. All right, and number three, this is big. I think this is the one that I got hit on the most. Decreased energy equals decreased retention. These were it. These were the major problems. All right. So, can I get you to go down the comment box? Which of these do you resonate with tonight? Do you resonate with all three? I mean, I had all three for sure. I would say the one that was impacting me the absolute most was this one, but all of them were contributing to me not being able to retain. So go down the comment box and leave your numbers. Are you all three? Are you primarily just the number three, number two, number one? All right, I gave you tips tonight on how you can start moving down the direction of addressing these. If you're in a situation, let's say you're outside of the PT hustle, you're looking for more depth of understanding. You're looking to be able to learn how to retain the information, get in a good study group, practice the information. And if you're looking to do more than just study, you're looking to do more than just that. You want to have greater energy. I'm going to give you a bonus. If you want to have greater energy, work on health. If you want to have greater energy, work on your mindset and self-care. If you want to have greater energy, spend time, focus on being grounded and reigniting your purpose for what you're doing. If you want to have greater energy, start taking better care of yourself. And then the retention follows. Now, how many of you were taught this in PT school? Probably not, right? It's just grind it out. Grind. Spend the time, grind. I bet you felt like you were on a hamster wheel like I did too, right? It's just like, when is this wheel going to end? It's because all your energy was being burned. Lower energy, lower retention. If tonight was helpful, go down the comment box and put helpful. Again, if you're looking for assistance, we have our number down there. We would love to review your practice exam reports, all right? We do that here, give you some guidance there. Specifically about this, though, if you're looking for a system to help you stay accountable, structured, and be able to retain this information, hit us up with a text, all right? All you got to do is send us the word coach, and we'll reach out to you and see how we can help, all right? Good. It's been a pleasure. Let me go down the comment box. I got 2 3s, all 3, but mainly number 2. For my coaching students that are here, all right, this is, I love this Monday for you because you've already started in the process of studying, right? You're going down this road of prepping for the exam. This is good. Now you get another awakening moment of, hey, hold on, before I just go through the motions and spend time here, let me make sure that I'm finding myself on the right side of that pyramid. Let me make sure that I'm implementing things in the green zone. Even though it's going to take me more time, don't worry. It's going to give you a bigger bang for your buck when it comes down to retention. All right? So it's like now, instead of us looking at these 3 problems and be like, oh, we got to address all of them today, don't worry about that. Let's pick your biggest domino. What's your biggest one? Can I get you to put that down there in the comment box right now? I know some of you did. All right. But a lot of you just gave me all three or one and two. How about you give me your biggest one called the big domino? What's the first one that we need to start knocking over? And let's just go after that this week. That's your challenge. Sound good? If you accept the challenge, put the word accept down there in the comment box. Radical accountability method today. Coach Nick and I are going to hold you to it. Can't wait for our Wednesday class this week. Coach K will be running it. Coach Nick will be running that. All right? So definitely tune into our Wednesday night coaching class for our coaching students. All right. Let's go ahead and wrap this up in prayer. Again, appreciate you for being here. Dear Heavenly Father, we come before you today to give you all praise, all glory. Say thank you for what we heard today. Thank you for our passion. Thank you for our purpose. Thank you for opening doors that no man can close. Thank you for closing doors and allowing us to continue to learn and go down the path that you have for us. We ask that you continue to watch over us, keep us safe and healthy. We ask that you allow us to continue to learn, allowing the information that we look at, whether it's lectures or readings or whatnot, we just allow that to sink into our minds so that we can apply this on our quizzes, our daily questions, our practice exams, and ultimately this NPTE. We know that you're going to assist us in closing this PT school chapter and closing this chapter with this NPTE, and we want to thank you in advance for that. Dear the Father, continue to watch over us, our family, our friends, our patience. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right, y'all. It's been a pleasure to serve every single one of you. We'll be back